Hi guys, it's Mandy, and you know what time of the year it is? Game Award times. Now, my outlook on the Game Awards is it's a very fun show and it brings a lot of gamers together, and I can appreciate that, but it's not the end-all be-all of what is the best game of the year and stuff. I actually have my own list of best games of the year coming out soon, so while that video is in the works, I thought it would be fun to give you my picks for the different categories and ultimately which one do I think is the game of the year. I got my iPad out, and for some godforsaken reason it works better in portrait mode and not horizontal mode, which is but I'll work with it. Anyways, the first category I'm going to start with is Best Game Direction. So with Best Game Direction, we have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Wonder, and Tears of a Kingdom. Now I'm gonna let you take a quick guess on which one I'm gonna choose. Tears of a Kingdom. But to be fair, I never played Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, or Alan Wake 2, so those are just automatically off my list. And I feel like the best game direction really should go to Tears of a Kingdom for me. So I'm gonna vote that in. And there we go. Now on to the best narrative, which I feel really strongly about because I am a story person, so this category means a lot to me. Now for best narrative, we have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now the best narrative section was pretty hard for me because I haven't played any of the games except Final Fantasy 16. So by default, I'm going to pick Final Fantasy 16. And while it did have a strong narrative focus, I feel like it wasn't as good to be nominated, sort of say. And I just hate when I have to pick a game by default because I haven't played the other ones, but that's how it is. So for best narrative, I am choosing Final Fantasy 16. So take that with a huge grain of salt. And ready, pick. There we go. Next we have Best Art Direction. Now the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of a Kingdom. Now for art direction, I feel like Hi-Fi Rush was really good at nailing its art direction and making it feel like a cartoon, which is pretty cool. Now I didn't finish Hi-Fi Rush, but I still appreciate the art direction, and it really nailed what it was going for this like Saturday morning cartoon feel. But for best art direction, I'm going to pick Super Mario Wonder, shockingly, because it had some really good level designs that just made it outstanding, especially the Piranha Plant Parade. You all know that, where the Piranha Plants just sing throughout the level, and the different level styles and the creativeness just makes this game stand out so much. So for best art direction, I'm going to pick Super Mario Wonder. Boom! And there it is. Now the next one is Best Score and Music. Now this one's a good one because I loved me some good music in a game. So let's see the nominees. First we have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of a Kingdom. Now for Final Fantasy 16, I don't really think it deserves it because most of the music was pretty forgettable. For me personally, Final Fantasy 16 had a very forgettable soundtrack. It was just your basic orchestral opera house kind of things when you're in battle, but nothing too memorable. Now with Tears of the Kingdom, it kind of pains me to say, but it wasn't near as memorable as Breath of the Wild. It was just a lot of ambient music, which does fit the theme, but it's not really memorable. Though with Hi-Fi Rush, the music does actually play a role in the gameplay, and I feel like that concept does give it a leg up. So for best music and score, I'm going to pick Hi-Fi Rush. And holy cow, I've been seeing Alan Wake everywhere. I might have to go pick that up soon. So for best music and score, I'm going to pick Hi-Fi Rush. Vote. Nice. Now the next one is a bit like the last category, and that is audio design. Now I've gone on record plenty of times saying that I have a hard time articulating music. It's kind of just like I like it, I really like it, and that's about it. I'm not really well versed into audio design, but let's pick it anyways. For best audio design, we have Alan Wake 2, oh my god, no surprise there, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4. Again, I'm going to have to pick one by default because I've only played Hi-Fi Rush, so that's the one I'm gonna pick. Vote. Holy cow, I need to play more games. Next one is Best Performance. This one's kind of weird because I don't really know any of these people. So the first one we have is Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16, Cameron Monaghan, sorry if I mispronounced that, from Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Idris Elba, again, I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that name, Melanie Liberd from Alan Wake 2, Neil Newborn from Baldur's Gate 3, Yuri Lothal from Spider-Man 2. Sorry if I mispronounced any of these beautiful people's names. I can't help it sometimes. Now for this one, it's gonna go into by default because I haven't played Alan Wake or Cyberpunk or Spider-Man 2. Man, you are starting to see the trend here. So for this one, I'm going to pick Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16. Vote. Next category. The next one is innovation and accessibility, which I find really important in games. It says recognizing software and or hardware that is pushed the medium forward by adding features, technologies, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. I love that. I kind of wish it went into depth on what mechanics make it more accessible, but you know, we'll just go with that. First one is Diablo 4, Forza, Hi-Fi Rush, Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6. Whew! Again, I'm going to pick Hi-Fi Rush because it's probably the only game I have any experience in. I am dabbling in Diablo 4, but I could confidently say that my pick is Hi-Fi Rush. Now the next one is pretty interesting, and that is Games with Impact. Now this one is for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I think I'm going to skip this one because I haven't played any of the games on the list, so there's that. I kind of need to play more games. Next we have is Best Ongoing Game. Awarded to the game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. First we have Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Again, I'm going to skip this because I haven't played any of them. Next we have Best Community Supported Games. We have the usual Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy XIV, and No Man's Sky. I think I'm going to pick No Man's Sky because that game literally is a far cry from the game that started, and plus it had that controversy and it still managed to make a very, very chill game. And I really think the developers really learned their lesson. So No Man's Sky. Now we have Best Indie Games. We have Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dirge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. For this one, I'm going to pick Sea of Stars because I played it here and there and it's very, very good. And it's hard for me to imagine that this is an indie game because they just add so much to the game and I can feel the passion of the work in the game. So for that, Sea of Stars. Sorry, Dave the Diver, he's a close second. Now this one's weird. It's Best Debut Indie Game. I don't think I'm going to participate in this one. Best Mobile Game. I am not going to choose the best mobile game because I hate mobile gaming. Okay, moving on. Now the next one is Best VR and AR. I don't have a VR headset, nor have I really played a VR game, so I'm just gonna skip it. Now for the Best Action Game. For the nominees, we have Armored Core, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2. For this one, I'm going to pick Hi-Fi Rush, mainly because I haven't played the other ones. Now we're on to Best Action/Adventure Game. We have Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of a Kingdom. And of course, I'm going to pick Tears of a Kingdom. Ooh. The next one is right up my alley, and that is Best RPG. I am Mandylee, the RPG queen, so I'm going to be really invested into this one. Let's see what they have. For the best games designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. First we have Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy XVI, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield. Now, not gonna lie, this one is pretty disappointing. I feel like Octopath Traveler 2 was robbed of this category, especially when you have Sea of Stars, which is a really good game, but like Octopath Traveler 2 was just epic. But if I had to pick one, I would pick Sea of Stars. But not because I feel like it earns it, but just because there's no other better option. Seriously, Octopath Traveler 2 should have been on this list. Big mad. Next is Best Fighting, which I'm going to skip because I haven't played any of these games. And honestly, I am very trash at fighting games too, so skip. Now the next one is Best Family Game. We have Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I am going to pick Super Mario World Wonder. Next one is Best Sim/Strategy Game. For this one, we have Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, City Skylines 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage, and Pikmin 4. For this one, I'm going to pick Fire Emblem Engage just because even though I had my gripes with the story and the cringiness, it was still good gameplay wise. So, picked. Now the next one is Best Sports/Racing Games, and yeah, I'm gonna skip this one. The next one is Best Multiplayer. Now I tend to like single player games a lot more, but I do love me some multiplayer. So let's see what the nominees are. First we have Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and lastly Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which kind of confuses me because Nintendo didn't really want a multiplayer aspect. I mean, it's there and it does help me a lot in the game, but I just find it weird how it's there because there was a lot of controversy on does it have multiplayer or not. But for this one, I'm going to pick Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I really need to play Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake because they're everywhere. Now this is hard because if you guys don't know, I have my icks about video game to movie adaptations, but I will give credit where credit is due. I'm going to pick the Mario movie for this one because it was just really good. The other ones were Castlevania, Gran Turismo, and Twisted Metal, and The Last of Us. But I'm gonna pick the Super Mario movie. Most anticipated game. It's basically what are you most excited for next year? By Pixar, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. For this one, I'm going to choose Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because it actually looks pretty good. It gives me faith in this whole Final Fantasy VII remake thing going on. So I'm gonna pick Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Next one is Content Creator of the Year. Honestly, I don't know any of these people. That's like a common trend. Every time they do a Content Creator of the Year, I don't know who these people are. And I remember last year they put someone who's on Twitter that's not even a content creator. So for this one, I'm going to skip because I don't know any of these people. And quite honestly, I should have been there. Mandyleeplays. If you think that I should win Content Creator of the Year, please subscribe. I will appreciate it. Shameless plug, yeah, I know. Dang, they're not letting up with the esports. So yeah, that is basically it, but I did save the best for last, and that is Game of the Year. So let's look at the nominees for that. Game of the Year. Recognize a game that delivers an absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. First we have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Wonder, and Zelda Tears of a Kingdom. For this one, I am going to pick Zelda Tears of a Kingdom. Number one, because this was honestly my actual game of the year. I picked this so easily because Tears of a Kingdom is actually my game of the year. It's been like that since it first came out, so it was an easy pick for me. Though I love seeing Super Mario Wonder there too. So that is it for my game of the years in all the categories. Like I said before, it's a fun show. It's not something to be taken seriously. I'm working on my own personal game of the year list as we speak, so look forward to that. One thing I want to note though, I feel like the game of the year show has a bias for like JRPGs or anime looking games because I would love to see Ryza in there. Now, okay, Atelier Ryza is kind of a niche game and all, but it would be amazing if it was awarded at least one of these categories. So I feel like there's a bias between anime, weebish looking games to, you know, the more Western kind of games. I don't really see a bias between Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. They're all pretty equal in my opinion. It's just the JRPG is kind of left out a bit. That's my only complaint. Anyways, like I said before, the Game of the Year award show should not be taken seriously. It's just for fun and for us gamers to just reflect the past year, and honestly, it's more meme worthy than anything. And I am working on my personal list, so look forward to that. If you like this video, then hit that like button. I would appreciate it. Please tell me what you guys thought in the comments down below, especially for this video. What did you pick? Did you like the nominees? Did the game you love just come up a bunch of times, or were you disappointed? Please let me know in the comments down below. You can find me on my socials in the description down below. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.